How are socialism and communism related? Today we will discuss how the two are similar and different and how closely they line up with each other. Socialism is a political and economical way of social organization that advocates that the community's means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by its community. Socialism surrounds itself on a broader spectrum of political beliefs but shares communism's emphasis on a fair, if not necessarily equal, distribution of wealth among its citizens, as well as public ownership of the means of productions, though not necessarily all of them. In that sense, socialist programs and policies can exist alongside capitalism in a society, which is less likely in a true communist system. Socialists may or may not see a communist system as their end goal. There are 5 main characteristics of socialism: collective ownership, economic, social, and political equality, economic planning, no competition, positive role of government, work and wages according to the ability and need. Socialists believe that cooperative efforts make everything in the state society with the help of its people and citizens. Communism is a political and economic structure that aims to create a classless community where the people's vital means of production, such as mines and factories, are owned and controlled. Thus, communism is the political and economic belief that puts an end to private ownership in favor of the states containing the means of production to produce economic equality and eliminate workers' exploitation. At its most basic level, communism is a philosophy based on the equitable distribution of wealth among a nation's citizens and common ownership of all property. In particular, it called for the control of the means of production, such as manufacturing and agriculture, by the working class. As stated earlier, its ultimate goal was achieving a classless society, at which point the state or government would wither away. It is a political theory derived from Karl Marx, advocating class war and leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned. Each person works and is paid according to their abilities and needs. There are 5 main characteristics of communism: abolition of private property, collective ownership of means of production, central planning, elimination of unfair gaps in income, provision of the necessities of life. So what makes them different? Well, in a communist society, there is a significant portion of property and financial resources that are owned by the state and not by its citizens. Under socialism, every citizen has an equal financial resource as allocated by a democratically elected government. In what ways are they similar? Both communism and socialism seek to establish an equal society through the distribution of resources. Each system, in their ideal theoretical forms, use a democratic or participative form of decision making. The main difference between socialism and communism is the distribution, resources, and property held. In closing, Communism and socialism are political and economic systems that share certain beliefs, including greater equality in the distribution of income. One way communism differs from socialism is that it calls for the transfer of power to the working class by revolutionary rather than gradual means. Finally, both communism and socialism advocate public control of the means of the production. Although socialism allows for the continued existence of capitalism in some parts of the economy.